Hello everybody and welcome to The Home Chef, for today we're going to be determining which tastes better, Manwich again, or homemade Sloppy Joes. So this idea came from my brother, who is a huge fan of Sloppy Joes, and I figured why not, this would be fun. He doesn't necessarily like Manwich, but it's the easiest, I guess the most commonly used one. So while you're cooking the Manwich, which is just cooking a pound of ground beef down and breaking it into chunks, save your time by also cooking or cutting and preparing the vegetables. So this is one green bell pepper, so you're going to use a third of a bell pepper. You want it minced or cut fairly thin, fairly small. You're going to use half of a large to medium sized yellow onion. So this is the, I guess, quote unquote proper way to cut onions. It keeps the roots intact, which prevent you from crying. And if you didn't know too, you can also just chew bubble gum. That'll prevent you from crying as well. So here we go. I just peel the skin off of it. I'm going to eventually figure it out. I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to use I'm going to save one half of the cut that I cut, and I'm going to slice the other one twice horizontally at an angle, and then I'm going to forget, you'll see, I'm going to forget that you need to cut it sideways in order to get it minced or chopped fine. Right here you'll see I'm just gonna cut this and look at it and go, oops, this is definitely not how I wanted it. So the recipe wasn't it was just looking around, trying to figure out which ones I wanted. There you go. So now I actually decided to start cutting it correctly. Well, different recipes, trying to figure out what I wanted. To me, Manwich, it's cheap. I mean, the cost of both, if you include, not including the buns, with just the Manwich and the ground beef, you're looking at about $3.50. And if you take into the cost of making it homemade, it's, I would say, about $4, not including the cost of the buns. So it's really not much more expensive to make it homemade, but I guess you'd have to buy the whole ingredients, the whole can of something, even though like the tomato paste, you're not using very much of it, you would have to buy the whole thing. But just the raw ingredients thing, and you put the onions and the bell peppers together, and you're also going to chop and mince up 3 cloves of garlic, but you're going to set those aside in a separate bowl from the onions and the bell peppers. You'll see my reaction at the end and which one is honestly worth it, but I really enjoyed cooking this and experimenting with things, and especially that it got my brother's approval. So it sounds crazy, but that's kind of all I shoot for it, I feel like. So here you're just going to chop up the garlic. I generally just kind of cut them down in thin strips and then just continue to whack them eventually until you get a nice fine dice. The garlic's extremely sticky, so throughout the entire cutting process, you want to scrape it off, add them to a bowl, and you'll have these after you start to cook peppers and the onions. I was raised to always do this when it comes to draining my ground beef. I just put it on every plate. mustard, you'll need 1 teaspoon. So I just added a teaspoon, maybe a little more than that. And for the dry, I'll go back and forth between the wet and the dry. And this is the brown sugar. It's optional, but I like a little sweetness to it, so I add 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. This is going to be the chili powder, which I added 3/4 of a teaspoon for it. And Worcestershire sauce, which again, Worcestershire sauce is only 1/2 teaspoon. Added salt, which courtesy of my cousin, which makes salsa with down for Christmas, so that is what that is. I'll just have for salt, you're only going to add 1/2 teaspoon. Isn't that much? Add more about the first piece. And you're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. And you're also going to add some chili flakes to finish it off, which is going to be 1/4 teaspoon. Then once it's all together, at least with the dry ingredients, I kind of break everything up, especially the brown sugar being kind of little lumps, just break it all up, mix it all together. I stir it around like it's going to do anything, but sometimes I just have to put my hands in it and actually get to it. I'm going to show it. You can clearly see still some chunks of brown sugar. So yeah, so back to the ground beef. You're going to let, as it's cooking, continually chop it up, break it up. It's going to get to the point where you're going to drain it now. I'm going to set it aside just like the ground beef with the manwich. I'm going to the same pan add onions and bell peppers. I reduced the heat to medium to not burn the onions or anything, so add a little, just continually stir for a couple minutes until you start to get this. You get a little bit more pit once that happens, you add your garlic for about 30 seconds or until you get this fragrant cheese. It won't take very long. You're going to add the tomato paste, which I'll let you know. I'm going to mix this in and then very quickly realize that I should add water, but it'll take me a second to realize that. So I add the ground beef back to the pan, stir it all up. I'll get it well incorporated before I eventually add the water, which will be the last thing or something. So I added the wet ingredients first. And then I look back to see that there's still a 1/4 cup of water sitting on the counter. And there we go. Now mixing it up and incorporating it all will be a lot easier. It definitely has a darker color once it's finished. So you're just gonna continually stir it, incorporate all of the ingredients together, and you're just gonna let it sit and simmer, stirring occasionally until it gets to that consistency that you're looking for. Right now it's currently a little bit too runny, but just to say, it doesn't take more than a couple minutes before it got to the level. While you're doing this, you see what your place will toast your butter. I should have actually toasted them on a skillet, but instead I just used a toaster. So here in the final products, we're going to have the homemade right here. Come on, that's the main range. We're going to have the homemade right here. I'll also tell you it's still steaming. So tasting the